Here we're live on the tnkgrl mobile live show, and so I got a bunch of stuff I wanted to cover. Obviously I have failed drastically at doing this on a weekly basis, primarily because I'm traveling too much and it's really hard to produce this show on the road because I do need some AV infrastructure to make it happen. But at the same time, it's here and it's now, and we have a whole bunch of stuff I want to talk about. So let's get started first by seeing me on the screen. So, all right. I have a bunch of news I want to share that kind of aggregates some of the stuff that's been going on since I last did a live show. And then I have some reviews. And as you know, today is Moto Z Day, and I want to talk about this phone. Obviously I just got it yesterday, so it's not like I'm going to give you a full review, but I do know a little more today than I did in my unboxing, which I did on Periscope yesterday and then posted on YouTube. And I have a bunch of accessories I want to talk about that are over here. And then I have as well something very exciting for you guys to stay tuned for. If you can last this long, I'm going to try to keep it short, but you know, we're talking about the Moto Z, it might take a while. I have a giveaway, and I can't tell you what it is just yet, but if you want to stay tuned, this is exciting. This is a big deal giveaway, not like some kind of crappy accessory. We're talking a phone. So stay tuned. Giveaway. I got some news. I got some reviews. I got some accessories. Let's get started. So the news, let's talk about the news. As you know, I've been away for a while. I was in Asia, and there's been a bunch of interesting things happening since May. And I picked a few things here that I feel are actually pretty exciting. And let's get started here by screen sharing this. Actually, let's see. Screen sharing my, here we are. I think this is what it is that I want to show you. You guys probably all heard of Gboard, which came out in May, and it's a Google, it's an Android, sorry, no, it's an iOS keyboard for iPhones that is made by Google and incorporates search into the keyboard. You can see it here. Let me just play the video a little bit.
Think about how much time we spend on our phones doing things like this. You and your friend are grabbing dinner, and you're trying to remember the address for the meatball shop. So you switch to a totally different app. You search the meatball shop. You find the address, and you copy it with those little thingies. You switch back, you paste it, and finally you hit send. We do this a lot. Switch apps, search, and switch back. So we had a thought. What if you could search right from your keyboard? Here's how it works.
Anyway, you get the idea. It's very interesting. They basically made a replacement keyboard for iOS and for iPhones that has built-in search functionality. So, and it's secure. It doesn't grab any of your keyboard entry. So that's really kind of cool. And I want to see this happen on Android now. So, you know, it's a bit old news, but there it is. The next bit of news I have for you is right here. And it is that Microsoft sold Nokia's feature phones to Foxconn. I know, again, this is a bit old news now, but we're catching up. And these are the things that I feel have come out. So in case you don't know, Microsoft, when they bought Nokia, also inherited the kind of the dumb phone, Asha, you know, pseudo smartphone business. And that's a big deal because it's still a big seller in parts of the world. And they have now sold that business to Foxconn, the big phone manufacturer. So that means we're going to see some new Nokia phones, well, Nokia branded phones made by Foxconn, specifically made by this company here, FIH, right? FIH Mobile, which is a subsidiary of Foxconn. And I'm excited because I think feature phones, there's still room for them. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, having some new models and some cool stuff happening. So anyway, that's another bit of news that I thought was interesting. You can read about it here on Engadget. Remember, all these links that I'm bringing up right now, you'll be able to read right directly on the description of the YouTube video once this live broadcast is over. So we talked about Gboard a little bit. Very exciting, clever keyboard for iOS. And then, you know, this bit of news. Let's go to the next bit of news. I published a video recap of you know, this thing called Google
Hey there,
I/O.
it's tnkgrl, Miriam Joir. I'm here in Taipei, Taiwan for a little while, and of course Google I/O just happened. Dave of RedWeb has asked me to say hi to all of you on RedWeb in Bournemouth, United Kingdom. And
So watch this video. I paused it, but watch it because these are all my thoughts about Google I/O. I'm not going to go into great detail. A lot of stuff was announced. It's kind of old news today. But if you want to feel and know how I feel about Google I/O, what was announced there, check it out. I go. That's not the most flattering photo, but I go over everything and also not flattering. So just watch that video. I will link it in my description. So let's see, what else do we have? Pebble launched a bunch of smartwatches while I was in Asia, and you know, I mean, interesting stuff. What's got me more excited here is that there is this thing right here. You see it here. It's called the Pebble Core, and what it is an Android-based. Well, let me read you the description. Pebble Core, where are you? La la la. All right. It's a Pebble Core is an ultra compact, ultra lightweight, and affordable. Damn it! I was trying to highlight all of this. An ultra affordable core frees you from armbands, hips, etc., other hassles of exercising with your phone. It keeps you connected and in control. Basically, it's a GPS device and a 3G radio in a little tiny box that is a complement to your Pebble and that runs Android. And to me, that's really exciting because this is something that I've always believed is going to come. It's kind of like this compute unit, communication unit for your personal area network, right? If your phone isn't with you, you have this thing, or even if your phone is with you, this thing could eventually become more powerful than your phone, but without the display, and basically kind of like run some heavy duty stuff for you and kind of complement your devices. So I think it's very interesting. I'm glad the folks at Pebble are still doing some cool stuff. The new Pebble Time 2 and the Pebble 2 look interesting. But again, I just, you know, the same caveats apply. This e-ink display, sorry, e-panel, e-paper display is just not right. They also showed a gold Pebble Time. You can also buy that. But anyway, interesting. Check it out. Yeah, that's another exciting little piece of news. As you know, Worldwide Developer Conference happened while I was away, and here is a bit of a recap of what happened there. And you know, it's a good post. There's a video. Yes, my computer is slow right now, and that's the reason for that is that I have way too many tabs open, and I'm doing way too many things. And also, The Verge is a pig of a website. So let's let it finish loading, and you'll see in a second what I'm talking about. So this is cool because it has a nice summary of everything that happened here in these bullet points. And again, I don't want to bore you to death. This is old news, but go check it out. And my take on WWDC this year is that it was very boring. And I mean, it brought some interesting features to the software. And of course, the big deal is that OS 10 is now called Mac OS. But I feel that there was a lot of brouhaha for not so much of anything. And I want to see some new hardware. I want to see some new Macs. We're way overdue for some new Macs. iMacs, Mac Pros, MacBook Pros particularly, MacBook Airs potentially, although I have a feeling these are kind of getting EOL'd very soon, and we might see maybe a 14-inch MacBook Retina, like the super slim, super thin, super light, a MacBook 12-inch that I have. I obviously want to see even more power from that device. I have the first gen, and sometimes it's a little bit slow when I travel, but that's my takeaway. What else is there here? Yeah, so Microsoft bought LinkedIn. You remember that? And that kind of blew my mind. I don't think I saw that one coming, and I think a lot of people didn't see that one coming. And so here it is, a really kind of a good recap story on what happened there. I think it's smart. I mean, I use LinkedIn a lot. A lot of people don't like LinkedIn, but if it's been very, very good for me as a biz dev tool for my
broker
business.
dealers and buy side firms around the world use NASDAQ.
Seriously, guys, stop it. it's been very successful for me as a business development tool, and also as a great way to get jobs in the past. And so I think you have to invest into LinkedIn to actually get some benefits out of it. But I think it's a very good complement to Microsoft in terms of their enterprise business. But I totally did not expect this one, so that was kind of cool. So what else do we have here? Oh yeah, so there's been a lot of brouhaha around this, and I have a lot of opinions around this. But hello, come on, load this. The brouhaha is that, as you know, there was a crash with the Tesla Model S recently that killed someone, and that crash was caused by that person not paying attention while using autopilot. And I firmly believe that the person is at fault, and that it's not really the autopilot at fault. But what came out of this, and this, I could go on about this for a long time, because I'm a car enthusiast and I cover car tech alongside mobile phones. I think this, what came out of this for me is that, Mobileye is the technology that Tesla uses for the camera imaging system. And obviously, it's not foolproof. It can sometimes not tell, especially in bright light when you're facing the sun, for example. It's hard for it to tell something white versus the sun. And in this case, it might have been a contributing factor. But at the same time, I want to just mention a few obvious things that, a lot of people don't seem to understand. Because, people don't really understand how this works. Like, until we have like some serious sensor technology, like LiDAR in every car, the car only has a very basic idea what's happening around it with radar, ultrasound, and camera. A forward-facing camera only. And so it's actually pretty amazing what Tesla manages to do with that. And, it's not autonomous driving. It's a level 2 driver assistance, meaning that the car can steer and accelerate and slow down itself primarily on the highway. And that's what it's meant for highway, freeway. And but the user has to be aware and paying attention the whole time, because it could get confused and it could disengage anytime. And so, there's very clear instructions and rules on how you turn this thing on, and that you accept the responsibility. And, it's easy to get complacent. But remember, if you're more of a techie person, if you have a car like this, or you get in a car like that, there are others, some Mercedes and BMW cars have this technology as well, and a Volvo. To remember that it seems like the car is driving itself, but it really isn't, right? So it is just kind of assisting you, and so you have to be aware, and we're not quite there yet. It's not autonomous. Now, a lot of people are moaning and groaning, like, shouldn't have tested the scenario where, there is like this blinding light thing with the white color. Well, you know what? This has always been a French case. It's always been well known, and radar can only help you so much. And there's a lot of compute power involved to make this work properly. So I think that what's more important to take away from this is that this is an autopilot, like Tesla calls it. In an airplane, the autopilot doesn't actually fly the plane. It helps the pilot. It takes a lot of the load off the pilot in cruising speed, particularly, and in approach. And that's what really this autopilot on Tesla is. It's a level 2, driver assist, not an autonomous feature. So this is a cool article because it talks about some of this and mentions the partnership with Mobileye. So check it out. I obviously have a lot to say about that. Pokemon Go was released, and if you're a fan of Pokemon, you should check it out. I think it's going to democratize AR in the sense that we don't really need to know what AR is, but now consumers kind of understand what AR could do for them, and we might start seeing zombie games like this. We might start seeing what else, like Minecraft would be cool to play in AR, and obviously it kind of paves the way for goggles eventually, or glasses that are AR. Some not like Google Glass was, something much better than that. More like HoloLens, but redux in size and more fashionable. And then we're going to have some fun time superimposing entire universes of our real world. And as you know, I used to work in games for a long time, so this is really exciting to me. The article here that I picked is good because it teaches you the basics. What does it do? What is it about? And it's a cool video. And so check it out. This is not, this might be a fad like Angry Birds, but it's going to be around for a while, and it's going to democratize AR. And you should, even if you're not interested in playing it and you're kind of rolling your eyes, do yourself a favor and check it out, because I think it is something you, as a tech savvy early adopter type person, need to be on top of. So that's why I included it here. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, the newest news. So as you can see, I've gone from the older news to the newer news. This here is a big deal, and it's that SoftBank, the Japanese carrier, bought ARM Holdings, the company that licenses the IP for like most of the chips in the world used by smartphones and mobile devices. Huge deal. ARM is a British company that was, a standalone company, has now been bought by SoftBank. So that also came out of nowhere for me. And it's a big deal because, look at that, 14 billion ARM processor shipped in 2015. Okay. And remember, this company does not manufacture a single processor. Oh no, we have a spinning wheel of doom. It is really essentially a company that licenses IP around processor technology, and to other players like Qualcomm and Apple and others. So it's a big deal. Yeah. I mean, check out this article. I think it's really cool. And really, my web browser is just dying here. So check it out. I'm gonna have to upgrade to a faster computer if I want to do this on a regular basis. Last time it seemed to be much smoother for some reason. Anyway, so now we've talked about the news. Don't forget, as I said, to watch my Google I/O recap to get my opinions about Google I/O. I didn't want to get into it here because, there's a lot of really good stuff there. Android N, the VR stuff, Allo, and whatever, the messaging and calling app. Off the top of my head, there's a bunch of really good stuff. But I covered it all in that video. So check it out. You probably are tired of seeing my web browser. So I want to talk about the OnePlus 3 next. And there's a very loud truck going by. Sorry for that. So I'm going to turn off screen share so we can get back to me. Hello. So talk about phones. I know you came for this, but stay tuned, because remember, I've got a giveaway at the end. You're going to have to stay on till the end to to win the giveaway potentially. So let's talk about the OnePlus 3, because I haven't had a chance to talk much about it. I haven't had a chance to make a video reviewing it. I have it here in its bamboo case, and frankly, I should probably dismiss all these notifications. I'm absolutely delighted by this phone. I think it's phenomenal. It is definitely worthy of a flagship and worthy of replacing a Nexus. And here it is. As you can see, it's super thin. It's beautiful. So you got a 1080p, really high quality 1080p display. There's been a lot of brouhaha about it not being sRGB, but you know what? sRGB sucks. So I'd rather have a display with proper color balance and temperature. Of course, it's 1080p. Some people are going to moan and groan about that, but you know what? Whatever, because it's good enough. There's enough density here. As you can see at the bottom here, there is a fingerprint reader, and it is very fast, much better than last year's OnePlus 2. Let me show you here. I'm going to try to do this facing you, but it's going to be hard. There we go. That's how fast it is. And then in the back is a 16 megapixel camera with f/2 lens optics, single LED flash. No laser autofocus this year, but it has a 16 megapixel sensor with OIS, and it's really quite high quality, much improved over the OnePlus 2, which on paper had all the right specs, but just didn't deliver in the software experience. This is a fast camera, has manual controls, etc., etc. You still have the awesome sliding control right here that lets you switch between the 3 modes. Let me show you. So, all notifications, priority only, and silent. So that's still there. And then you've got a power lock key. Power lock key is on this side right there with, with the SIM tray. The SIM tray also, and sadly does not accommodate micro SD expansion. So you're limited to the storage in here, which I think is 64 gigs. And then what else do you have? Volume rocker right below the notification switch right there. And, you know, it's all metal, unibody. It's got these antenna bands. It's beautifully made, feels amazing in hands, super thin, great display, great camera. Of course, front-facing camera and earpiece. There's a speaker at the bottom. Notice that obviously we're back to USB Type-C this year like last year. This is how thin it is. You can tell the headphone jack. This is how thin this phone is. Headphone jack there. Still a headphone jack, thankfully. Look, I'm not going to lie. Right now, it's hard to argue that this isn't the best phone on the market. That's basically my takeaway. Now, there are others, you know. The Galaxy S7 is still a better phone, in my opinion, even though it doesn't have a very stock version of Android. But you can always fix that with Google Now, Launcher, and a bunch of other stuff. But the reality is it's $250 more than this phone, or $200 more than this phone. So you're getting a great deal with this device for the money. And it comes with these beautiful, you know, well, I think they're accessories, these shells to remind you of the good old days. This is the bamboo one. Looks really sexy, protects your phone a little bit, but most importantly, doesn't make it look or feel much thicker, which is really great because this phone feels so nice. So I can't stop raving about this device. I am truly excited and impressed. I've used it thoroughly, taken lots of photos. I really, really like it. I had lots of reservations about the OnePlus 2, some reservations about the OnePlus 1, and I really like the OnePlus X. As you know, I have two versions, a silver one and silver and black and white and gold ones. But the OnePlus 3 is a winner. Buy it. Or, you know, if you have more money, buy the Galaxy S7, I guess. But, or, you know, let's talk about the Moto Z in a second. But the reality is, look, stock Android, high quality specs, you know, a 99%, 95% of flagship, you know, like a $650 flagship from a big brand for $400 and something, you just can't go wrong. So the next thing on the agenda here for me is this phone that I've been reviewing. And I know I'm gonna get to the Moto Z. Don't worry, hang in there. I'm doing them chronologically, basically in the order I received them. So let me just bring this phone up because I need to remove all these notifications that have popped up. So this is Meizu M3 Note. It's kind of a mid-ranger, and I'm currently reviewing it for Mobile Geeks. So I'm going to have a review for that. Very meh. It kind of reminds me of the Honor 5X in many ways. The price is about the same. The spec sheet's about the same. It's a big phone. It's got a 5.5-inch display. But I don't know why it's called Note, because frankly, you know, who calls a phone Note today? Most phones are, even the Galaxy Note is 5.7-inch, right? So, like, who knows? Who knows? There's a, as you can see here, I'm running the Google Now launcher, right? Actually, let me see here. Yeah, I'm running Google Now launcher. So you see, so this comes with Flyme, which is their own software, and it's pretty abysmal. So hardware is okay, but the software leaves a lot to be desired. And at least it comes with Google Play services pre-installed, because this is a phone. They didn't send me the Chinese version. The other thing I wanted to point out is that this phone does not have NFC, but has a fingerprint reader. You know, that's a pet peeve for me because of Android Pay. And by the way, the Moto G4 also doesn't have NFC and has a fingerprint reader, while the G4 Plus. And so I just don't like that. And the other thing is the Honor 5X is like that. There's a bunch of phones that I've been reviewing that are like that, and it just drives me crazy. The next phone that I reviewed, you can watch a video. Actually, I'm gonna quickly bring up that video in screen share. Sorry, I'm trying to put this away. I'm running out of real estate on my desk. So many phones here today. So let's go to screen share real quick and pick this video. So here we are, the Cat S60. Hey there, it's tnkgrl, and this here is the Cat S60 phone. This is a rugged phone made by Cat,
the company known for rugged things and machinery and all that good jazz. It's not their first phone, but it is the first.
Forward a little bit for you
I'm putting them
guys.
back now. And
So
necessary. This app toolbox
check out
is
this
a bit
review.
cheesy.
It's a full-on review.
It's got mil-spec rating.
That I did about 10 days ago. I've got the phone here somewhere on my desk. So let me switch back to the screen, turn off the screen share. Hello, screen share off. There we go. So that's it right here, the Cat S60. So what about this phone, you're going to ask, right? Let me just unlock it because it doesn't have a fingerprint reader and I do have a pin on it. And remove the notifications. So this is also a stock Android phone. I haven't actually added any Google Now Launcher type action. And it is essentially a mid-range phone with Snapdragon 617 and 3 gigs of RAM. And it's a 720p 4.7-inch display. And so, you know, it's a rugged phone, which is really exciting. It's very thick, 13 millimeters. I don't know if you can see it. And I mean, watch the review. I'm not going to go in great detail. It does have a FLIR's thermal camera built in, which is kind of a really interesting thing. It's that orange thing. And then it has a pretty decent 13 megapixel camera on the bottom. So yeah, that's the Cat S60. If you're looking for a rugged phone that's waterproof to 5 meters, can be dropped 2 meters without any damage, and is a decent mid-ranger. And, you know, you can't go wrong. But then this brings you thermal imaging. So if you are a contractor or like you like to live in the woods and you want to see if there's any bears coming after you at night, this is the phone for you. More importantly, it is not too expensive considering what's inside. $600 seems like a lot, but that camera, that FLIR imaging module as a standalone accessory for iOS and Android is like $200 at least, right? So, and you know, on top of that, you get a rugged phone. So I think it's pretty exciting. Let's see, what else was I going to tell you about this? I don't know. It's cool. Check it out. Good phone for people who need to, who are a little rough on their phones. So check out my review. I'll give you the link as well in the description. All right, let's see what else I have to tell you about today. Well, so the pièce de résistance, of course, the Moto Z and Z4. So as you know here, since we're I'm going to screen share this real quick. Let's switch to... Hey, everyone. Guess what arrived this morning? Look at that. Here you go. It is the Moto Z. I don't know why this isn't focusing, but not just the Moto Z. Also, the Moto Z. This is my little unboxing video I did on, what's it called? On Periscope. And you can watch the whole thing. It was yesterday before the embargo lifted for the Z, so I couldn't talk too much about it. But you can see that I'm covering a whole bunch of things. Like the Moto mods. And so I'm going to show you a little bit more of this because I know you're dying to see more. So let's see here. So this is the Moto Z. And what I love about it immediately is that it's absolutely super thin, 5.2 millimeters or something ridiculous like that. I mean, you know, here, let's put it next to me. Like, you see how thin this is? This is incredibly thin. Gorgeous Quad HD display right here, 5.5 inches. And stock Android. Of course, it's a Motorola Droid in this case, because as you can see, it has the Droid branding on the back. It's an exclusive to Verizon until the fall, in which when we'll get a Moto Z unlocked for the rest of the world. And yeah, so the thing that strikes me the most about this immediately is how thin it is and how light it is. And look, how you can really tell how thin it is by, let me see if I can get the camera to focus here on this stuff. No, it still wants to focus on my face, but maybe if I put my hand in the way, it'll focus on my hand. I want to show you the thinness of the phone with respect to the USB Type-C connector. You can see it here, it's very thin. Anyway, you barely have more than the USB Type-C in thickness here. So what's cool about this, in my opinion, is that you have a phone that is modular, but in a different way than what Google did, than what LG did. Check it out. So it comes with these things that are just completely passive covers. And that's one of the things that I noticed that I didn't talk about yesterday because I hadn't really noticed it. If you hold it like this right now, it seems slippery because it's glass in the back. And it seems like you're going to end up dropping it easily. And so they ship with this in the box. There's actually a black one that matches the phone, but they also gave me this kind of like lighter colored one. And let me show you how this works. This is magnetic. So you get a bunch of contacts here for the mods. And it just goes like this, boom, and it holds by itself. And so the end result is that you now have a phone that feels 10 times better in hand, even though it's slightly thicker, because there's no electronics in this back. This is purely cosmetic. But I immediately noticed that once you put that on, the phone feels like you're not going to drop it anymore. So if you're interested in getting the Z, just keep in mind that it's so thin that it's kind of slippery, and until you put something in the back, in this case, this just this passive cover that makes it look sexy is a good idea. So I just wanted to bring that up. I talked about the USB Type-C, or rather tried to show you the USB Type-C, and let's walk through the phone real quick. So as you can see, fingerprint magnet, this piece of glass, another reason perhaps that you want to use this cover. There is a 13 megapixel camera with OIS up here, dual LED flash, laser autofocus, Droid branding, all the contacts for the Moto mods, which are these interchangeable modular backs. And I'll show you some of them in a second. In front, as I said, there's a 5.5-inch Quad HD, gorgeous AMOLED display. And, there is a 5 megapixel autofocus camera with an LED flash up there. I think it's 5. And an earpiece that also acts as a speaker, right? The bottom, you have a fingerprint reader, but it's not a home button, which some people are vexed about, but I really don't see a big deal. On my OnePlus 3 and my HTC 10, I'm using the front, fingerprints reader as just a fingerprint reader. I disable the home function. I don't want a home button. I want on-screen buttons, just like they did here. Super fast, this button, it just unlocks the phone instantly. Boom, there. On the right-hand side, you have a power lock key and volume rocker. I'm not sure if you can see that, but there we go. Power lock key, it's a bridge, it's nice, and volume rocker. And then on top, you have a SIM slot. Again, watch my unboxing video because you're going to get better quality video. There's a SIM tray right here. And this is just an antenna band. There's nothing, no headphone jack, right? So let's talk about that for a second because that's vexing. There's USB Type-C and it's analog. Oh, look, now you can finally see the USB Type-C connector I was trying to show you before. It's so thin. It's vexing because, first of all, the audio quality isn't that good. I mean, it's not bad, but it's not good. Here's the adapter that's in the from the box that I hadn't unboxed yesterday. So USB Type-C on one end, 3.5 millimeter on the other. You're going to lose this in 5 minutes, although I'm sure it's going to cost $9 to replace on eBay. But you just plug it in here, and now you have audio output. But look at how annoying that is, right? That is not an elegant solution, right? So I don't know. I'm not happy about it. I think it's a silly idea. We know that the iPod Touch, the iPod Nano, the last generation of it, current generation, has a headphone jack and it's even thinner than this, or almost as thin. So why didn't they do it? Especially when they have a D2A converter of 24-bit 96 kilohertz or 192 kilohertz and an amplifier built into this already, because this is purely an analog dongle. They're outputting analog out from the USB Type-C. So, I don't know. So that's something I found out by talking to their PR people. I clarified that it is analog out through the USB-C. So the other thing to keep in mind is this has what they call turbocharging on the USB-C, and it turns out that's the same technology as the Nexus 6P and 5X. So if you have a Nexus 6P charger or 5X charger, it'll charge your Moto with turbocharging. If your turbocharger for Moto you will charge your Nexus 6P and Nexus 5X with turbocharging, charging rapidly. So they said it was proprietary, but unless I'm missing something here and the charger supplied by Motorola does more, I haven't timed it to see how long it takes to charge, but it certainly charges pretty rapidly using a Nexus 6P or 5X charger. And it seems compatible, so that's good. So it doesn't. What it means is it's not Quick Charge 3. It's not dash charging, which, by the way, I didn't mention. But the OnePlus 3 has dash charging, which is like a proprietary thing that they share with Oppo, which charges faster than anything I've ever used. It is insanely fast. It's faster than Quick Charge 3. It's faster than a Moto turbocharging. So it's very interesting. So I'm really impressed with this phone. I haven't used the camera enough to really tell you how good it is. And I'm going to talk about the Z Force in a second, which I also have here on my desk, because the Z Force is a thicker version of this phone with one of those, whatever they call it, the display technology they introduced with the Droid last year that is like 5 layers of glass or whatever, that is hard to shatterproof, basically. Hard to shatter, very hard to shatter. And it has a bigger battery, so it lasts longer. This only has like I think 27 or 26, something like that, milliamp hours, whereas the Droid, the Z Force has a 3,500 milliamp hour. And so far, I don't think battery life has been a problem, but I tend to use multiple phones, so it's hard for me to tell. Also, the Z Force has a 21 megapixel versus 13. They both have OIS. The Z Force adds phase detect autofocus. So speaking of which, I've been talking about the Z Force. Let's bring it out here and show you the difference. So in the front, oh, I'm in a web browser, not what I intended on doing. In the front, they look the same, right? See that? Let me turn the power so you look identical, right? In the back, guess what? They look the same again, right? Now, if you get a little closer, look at the cameras here. I don't know if my camera will focus, but there we go. But as you can see, maybe I'll put them next to each other. The Z Force, which is the one I'm tapping with my finger, has a bigger lens. You see that? That's how you tell them apart, other than the obvious thickness difference. So there you go. And then if I stack them on top of each other, this is where it becomes really obvious in terms of thickness. So here. See how much thicker the Z Force is than the Z? And it's heavier. Like, holy crap, do you really feel the weight? But it's more rugged, and it's also water resistant somewhat, apparently. And then, you're probably wondering about the buttons, and, they're pretty much the same layout on both, right? And then the bottom, look at that, same layout again, except that there's a lot more space above the USB Type-C connector. And the top is the same as well. Just the SIM tray. You can see the 2 SIM trays are just... The thing I don't like about the Z Force is that it has this... let me see if I can show you this. It's got a line running all the way along the edge here that kind of divides it into 2 halves. I don't know if you can see that. See, look, there's this edge. Whereas the Z non-force is flat. Well, slightly rounded, I guess, but it doesn't have an edge here. It's just kind of smooth, and it feels so nicer to me. But again, I think you can carry the Z Force, without the back cover, and it won't feel as slippery. This thin one is really, really slippery. So let's talk about the Moto mods. Now, I haven't powered. I've turned it on, but I haven't actually set up the Z4, so I don't know how much better the camera is. I need to discover all that still. I hear that it's better in low light, despite the fact that it has less pixels. Usually less pixels means bigger pixels mean better low light imaging, but the 13 megapixel camera on the Z is the same size 1.2 micron pixels as the 21 megapixel Moto Z4's camera. So I don't know why they get better low light performance. They both have f1.8 lenses and both have OIS, so I don't know. But I'll test it and let you know. So I showed you, this is the Z. I showed you the dummy covers and what they look like. And so the next thing I want to show you is a battery pack. This is a brand I never heard, Kate Spade. I guess I'm not fashionista because I don't know who that is. I guess it's some sort of fashion brand. I'm losing my glasses. So there you go. This is a battery pack and it's not too thick. So let's show you the phone and the battery pack so you can see the thickness. Doubles the thickness of your Z basically. And here are all these contacts. Look at that at the bottom. I'm sure only half of these are used for powering the thing. And it has a little button here. Let me see if I can show it to you. You see that gray button underneath my finger right there? If you push on it, a little LED flashes and tells you the status of the battery. It charges through the phone. There's software that tells you what the charge is on the phone versus what charge on the battery. So let me show you how it goes. Like we should do like some sort of like space odyssey here. And it's magnetic. And there you go. And the phone vibrates as soon as it detects the accessory. And now you have a phone that's double as thick, but feels great in hand and has basically almost doubled its battery life, right? It's a 2220 milliamp hour battery. And look what I'm saying about the battery level. Look at the top here. You have two battery indicators, both at 100% because I just finished charging this. So it tells you what the phone battery is and what the accessory battery is. And there's even a notification that tells you Moto Mod battery is 100%. And there's an entire way of managing that in the settings. Let me show you. Moto Mods. So here in the settings, it tells me what the battery level is and gives me some options on how I can manage the batteries together. It's very cleverly done. I really think this is the future of modularity. I mean, until we get Project Ara, of course. But this is super clever, way better done than the G5, although I think this particular battery is ugly as sin. Removing them is hard to do, but at the bottom on this one, there's a little area that it's hard to remove. These things are stuck on real good. There you go. You remove it like this. The other accessory they sent me is a speaker by JBL, and it's called the Sound Boost. Here are the contacts, and like you can see, it also has a little button down here with an LED that tells you the charge level. Let me show you that again. But this also has a USB Type-C connector here. You can see it? I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, right there. It's kind of hard to see, right next to my finger. And that lets you charge the device separately if you want. And it's thick, okay? Yeah, very thick. But it's a full-on speaker with a kickstand. So you put it on and watch. Boink. And it doesn't come off. So here's the JBL speaker attached to my Droid, and now I instantly have sound. Let me show you what I mean by that. Let's play some audio.
Driving this road down to paradise, letting the sunlight into my eyes. Our only plan is to improvise, and it's crystal clear.
So this is through the mic, of course, that you're hearing this, but it's loud and it's clean and it's better than any phone speaker I've ever heard, including all the HTCs. So you're going to say, why not use a Bluetooth speaker? Well, Bluetooth speakers are going to help you in the sense that you're going to be able to use it with more than one device. But this is a pretty awesome combo, right? And there's zero configuration. You just plug it in. And I mean, if I'm playing music right now, it goes automatically between the two speakers. If I unplug it, watch. So let me crank up the volume here. And let me detach it. It paused the music, but you briefly heard it. If I resume it, now I get the tinny built-in speakers. And as soon as I plug this in, it just switches over. Anyway, you get the idea. It's cool. It's well done. I mean, it makes the phone super bulky. I wouldn't do it myself, but I think it's very interesting. And those Moto mods, there's also a projector. They didn't give it to me, so sorry I can't show it to you. But I'll be frank, I'm almost as delighted with this phone as I have been with the OnePlus 3. The only reservation I have is that I haven't tested the camera yet, and I can't really tell you. On paper, it should be really good. 13 megapixel f1.8 OIS, but the pixels are pretty small. And the 21 megapixel camera adds phase detect autofocus and has the same size pixel. So you're not going to get less noise from the bigger sensor because it's more pixels, not small, and the pixel size stays the same. So just keep that in mind. It's not perfect. And I have a feeling from everything I've read today, all the reviews that came out, because everybody else has had the phone for a week. I was traveling, so I got to have it later. That the cameras are meh in low light, that maybe the 21 megapixel does better in low light, which is weird to me because they should be about the same. So let's talk about the Moto G4 Plus and G4 a bit before I finish this section on reviews, I guess. This is the G4. Let's see if I can find the G4 Plus. This is a pile of phones here. So here is the Moto G4 Plus. And ta-da, there it is. So this is a $250, I think, or so phone with some pretty impressive specs for the money. Now, I was a big fan of the Moto G the whole time. The original one, and I think actually Gen 2 is my favorite. Original one was great because it was small and cheap. I didn't have LTE though. The second Gen 1 was slightly bigger and had LTE, and just the camera, you know, was one of the areas where the first gen was poor, and the camera was improved quite a bit on the second gen. The third gen further improved the camera, but didn't really raise the bar in every other way other than being waterproof, which was really cool. So this is thinner, lighter, and it is a 5.5-inch screen, just like the Moto Z. Where's my Moto Z? There's my Moto Z. So look, let me unlock them. Moto Z, Moto G4 Plus. You know, the fingerprint reader is almost in the same spot. They're about the same size. The Z is a bit taller, as you can see here. There you go. You can see it's a bit taller, the Moto Z down there. Of course, much thinner. But so the thing widths, you know, so basically the Moto G4 and G4 Plus, which are identical in size, are like Moto Z's Redux this year in terms of size. You didn't get a 1080p panel, 5.5 inch, really beautiful panel, by the way, very impressive. And a plastic phone, all plastic, with a nice grippy back. Feels really great in hand, this phone. So, you know, for the price, you can't go wrong. Snapdragon 617. Really great specs on this phone. And here's the non-plus version. So as you can see, all is missing is a fingerprint reader at the bottom. See that? And in the back, they look identical as well. Now, what's different about the other thing that's different, the Plus here has laser autofocus, which you can kind of see at the top here, those two little dots next to the camera, which are missing on this guy, right? And this is a 13 megapixel camera. This is a 16 megapixel camera, and they're both autofocus, but no OIS, right? So also $200 for this model, $250 or something for that one. So the G4 Plus would be my pick because of the fingerprint reader. But one of the big disappointments, and I'll show you the screen real quick, is if you go here, no NFC. So you have a fingerprint reader, but you can't do Android Pay, which is just ridiculous if you ask me. Redonkulous. So keep that in mind. No Android Pay. Great phone. So far, I've been very happy with it. I read the Verge's review of Vlad's review, and he said he had some performance hiccups. So far, I'm not seeing too much of that. Maybe I'm just lucky, or maybe there was a software update somewhere along the way. So we've talked about all the Motos. We talked about the OnePlus. We've talked about the Meizu that I'm reviewing, about the Cat phone. It's been a bonanza, right? Bonanza of phones. Let me look through the topics and make sure that I've covered everything I wanted to tell you about. Yes, I have. So don't forget to watch my unboxing video. You can go to my Twitter to see it. It's from yesterday. And then my Cat S60 video, which should be on my YouTube channel as well. Those are the two things I can give you immediately. And stay tuned for more coverage on the Moto phones. So this has been going for a little while now, hasn't it? Let's see. How much time have we been live? I don't know. A little ways, almost an hour. So much longer than last time. But it's because I have a lot today. And I wanted to show you quickly some accessories that I've received that I'm going to play with that I think are really cool. Well, maybe not really cool. You know, accessories are accessories because they're not really cool. Sometimes they can be really cool. So the first one I want to talk to you about is called the toddy cable. And the toddy cable is like this customizable in terms, you can create a design that can be applied to the cable. And it's a USB, micro USB cable, as you can see here. Nothing too crazy here. Maybe it'll autofocus. There you go. So it's got my name on it. See? Miriam, right? Or maybe there you go, Miriam. And so this is micro USB and USB-A. And this design here can be adapted to be anything you want. This part right here. The white cord with the little triangles. You can do that in any design you want. So they'll custom build you a cable with your name or whatever. It's a total gimmick. But they sent it to me and they said, hey, check it out. And it's been very durable. Of course, it doesn't tangle easily because it's a flat cable, which I like. And it's been very durable. The connectors are made of metal. And it exists for iOS with Lightning and Android. I can't remember the pricing, but check it out. Just Google it, and there's no USB-C that I know of yet. They're still working on that. So it's called the Toddy cable, Toddy. I'll put a link in the notes. The next product that I haven't had a chance to review yet, but I've received, and I want to thank the folks for sending it to me, is this Enerplex Surfer, which is a iPhone 5, 5S, and iPhone SE charging case. Basically battery case with a solar panel on it. Let's show you. I haven't taken it out of the box and I'm not going to. You can see it's a case for the iPhone 5, 5S, and SE with a solar panel. And it says here, battery and solar case, ultra slim battery and solar case. In English, the Surfer provides a protective case which extends the life of your iPhone with integrated battery and solar panel for emergency charging in a lightweight and thin design. And the specs say 2,000 milliamp hour battery, which isn't bad for an iPhone. So I'll play with this. I have an iPhone 5S floating around somewhere that I can try this with. I'll let you know. The solar power cases are cool, especially when you're like in the desert for a while and you camping or something, you know. So, but much more excited about the next thing. This thing, Pocket Chip. So I bought this with my own money for 50 bucks. I'm an original Kickstarter backer of the Chip project, the Chip computer, which is a $9 full-on Linux computer, about the size of a credit card. And it has all the inputs and outputs to connect a keyboard, and it has Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. So you can basically connect it to HDMI. Well, actually, it comes with an analog output by default, but you connect to analog output, and you can start using Linux right out of the box with either Bluetooth keyboard or USB keyboard. So what they did is they decided to create a mobile box for this $9 computer, which is what Pocket Chip is. And I'll show you in a second. It'll make sense in a second. It's a keyboard and display in which the chip can be docked. Let me pull it out so you can see. I played with it already. I just repackaged it so the packaging would take up a bit less space. I'm throwing things on the floor. Watch out. So this is a bit of an unboxing. There's really nothing in the box, but here you go. Resistive touchscreen, keyboard, lithium-ion battery, and the $9 computer module that runs Linux. And the end result is, let me turn this on. Boom. We're going to boot Linux on this guy. Are you ready? So here are the ports. I can plug this into a monitor and the headphones and plug some USB devices into it. They all can also charge it over USB, micro USB, but look, it's booting. And it says the battery is a bit low, maybe. Oh no, it's booting. And this keyboard is like totally like just, you know, dome switches, super cheap. For 50 bucks, what do you want? And you can put your pencil in this hole or your pen in this hole and hold it as a kickstand. It's got a really weird looking, funky shape, as you can see, translucent. And more importantly, you got all the I/O pins you can solder on to dick around, which, as you know, as a hardware person, I like to dick around. So it says, welcome to Pocket Chip. And it tells me a bunch of instructions. As a touchscreen setup here, so walks me through, it's a bit of a tutorial, as you can see. And it's got a little game emulator in there and tells you how to do all this stuff every time. You can turn it off. Anyway, let's see. Enjoy. Tap here to begin. There you go. There's a launcher. And, you know, it wouldn't be perfect. And I'm going to go into the terminal because I'm a nerd. There you go. I'm going to type ls space. Where's the dash on this? I don't know. But here, ls will do. Boom. Here's what's on the distribution on the screen. So it's pretty cool. There's a home screen. As you can see, there's a 8-bit emulator here. There's some sort of sound composition software called Make Music, and then, you know, a file browser. You can see it's a touch finger friendly, the file browser. There you go. Yeah. So this is kind of cool. If you like tinkering and you want a bit of a mobile computer that's super hardware and software tinkerable and low power and fun, this is the way to go. Pocket Chip, check it out. The Verge reviewed it, but I'll put the Kickstarter link in the notes down here. Ooh, here. All right, so you've stuck around this long, you deserve something exciting, and we're gonna get into the giveaway in a second. But just before, because I need to stretch it on a little bit, I want to talk about what I did last week, which was exciting. Mini, the company that makes cars, Mini, the BMW subsidiary that makes, well, not so small anymore, but small-ish, fun, customizable, and comfortable and slightly higher end cars, invited me to join them on their biannual, which is every 2 years, owners rally. Basically, they invite all the owners to come and do a road trip across the country. And they do this every 2 years, and it's called Mini Takes the States. And this year was Mini Takes the States 2016, MTTS 2016 with a hashtag. And so all these owners get together and travel across the country every day at different stages, kind of like a rally, but it's not a race. And you get to meet really cool people and see cool cars. And as a journalist, Mini had a bunch of different cars for us to try out. So I got to drive a bunch of different Minis. It's a 2-week thing, and I only did the first week. So I went halfway in the country, started in Atlanta. I finished in Minneapolis, and they're going all the way to Palm Springs. The reason I'm telling you this is because this is also a fundraiser. This is a fundraiser for Feeding America, which is a nonprofit that helps feed Americans. It turns out that 1 out of 5 American children are malnourished and undernourished, and 1 out of 7 adults in the US are. So if you want to make a difference today, go to Feeding America and, you know, donate some money, maybe the price of your cappuccino or something, you know, $4 or whatever, for this good cause. And more importantly, look at my Facebook, G+, Twitter for some coverage about the event. I did some Periscopes, some Facebook Lives. I did tons of great photos. I had a lot of fun, and expect some kind of recap story on my blog about this pretty soon. The other thing I wanted to point out was that, you know, if you ever are in I think they're going to Las Vegas. There's 3 stages left right now. Someplace in Utah, I think Park City, and then Las Vegas, and then Palm Springs. So if you're down there and you're a Mini owner, Google Mini Takes the States and come show up with your car, right? All right, so the giveaway. Are you guys all ready for the giveaway? Because there are rules. Rules for the giveaway. I should put this down a bit. Rules for the giveaway are simple. The first person to tweet wins. No, don't tweet now. The first person to tweet at me after I've announced what the giveaway is wins a prize, okay? But there's 2 prizes. I'm giving away 2 phones. So if you tweet the first 2 tweets that say the right thing, and I'll tell you what to say, will win. So are you ready? I will say go when you can start tweeting. So just wait for the go. All right, so you ready? We're giving away something. I'm gonna tell people on Twitter and Facebook that I'm giving away stuff so that they come and join us, because right now that's 8 of you and watching live, which is not a lot, but if there's only 8 of you, you know, you guys are gonna have really good odds. So I want other people to come in. So let me tweet about this real quick and say, I'm doing a giveaway live on tnkgrl Mobile Live. I'm doing a phone giveaway, even better. Let's see my keyboard. On tnkgrl Mobile Live right now. So let's see if anybody else is going to join us. I need to find the URL for this, and so give me a second to tweet this. Copy link. So here we go. Actually, I'm going to change this. I'm giving away 2 phones. And they're smartphones, 2 smartphones. So there we go. Oh, you can't say give it to me. That's not the instructions. So forget it. All right. Tune in or miss out. Or miss out. There you go. So I'm going to tweet that, and then we're going to give them a minute to come on. And I'm going to do that on Facebook as well, because I have to be fair, and on G+. So give me a second to put that in there. Here we go. I know you guys have been patient. Computer is so slow right now. I'm sorry, guys. It's just taking me a little bit longer than I expected. And there we go. And actually what I need is the, let me expand that URL, because it's the Twitter URL right now, which kind of screws with me. Okay. Expand that URL. Here we go. Copying this, and here we go. Let's wait for a few people to show up. Boom. This is weird. So anyway, I know this is boring, but sit tight. You want the giveaway, so you don't know what it is, do you? All right. I gotcha. All right, I'm going to delete this Facebook post because it's got the wrong URL in it. If my computer wakes up, I'll be able to do this. There we go. So I think we're ready now. All right. So remember, I haven't said the magic word yet, so stay tuned for the magic word. All right. So here are the rules. Very simple. Hang on. So the rules are this. I'm going to tell you what the two phones are, and then I'm going to say the magical word go, as in go. Don't do it now. The word is go. And when I say go, you're going to go and tweet on my Twitter, mention me, and then there's going to be a hashtag. So you're going to tweet, mention me, otherwise I won't see it, and it's going to have a hashtag. And then you'll be eligible. The first two people to tweet me with my handle and the hashtag I'm going to give you after I say the word go will win. And we'll set up a DM so that I can get your email address and all that stuff. So here we go. I'm giving away 2 Nextbit Robins in that magical Mintnight color. Now, do you know what that Mintnight color means? I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Here, let me find the Mintnight version of the Robin so you can see what it looks like. It's a special edition color. Mintnight Robin. Mintnight. Where are you? It's this. Oh, that's a terrible photo. I want to find a better photo. Yeah, I need a better photo than that. Sorry. Let me search for more better photo and we'll be set. No, still no luck. Actually, here it is. So I'm going to switch to the screen sharing so you guys can see what's going on here. So it's the phone on the left here. That's the color. This guy right here. This Mintnight. So it's a mixture of mint and midnight. So it's a combination of the other two phones that are middle and the right. The phone on the left has these light blue end caps and a dark background, a dark back. So it's called the Nextbit Robin, but it's the Mintnight color. So you ready for the giveaway? We are now going to give you the giveaway. Be prepared to tweet. The first 2 tweets that mention my name and the right hashtag will win. The hashtag is Mintnight. Go. I should play the Jeopardy theme right now. Are you going? Are you hashtagging? Are you tweeting at me? Nothing, nothing, nothing. What am I going to do to give away these phones? You guys don't want them. I'm giving away 2 phones right now on Twitter. 2 Nextbit Robins. The color is Mintnight. There's 1 and there's 2. All right. Are these spelt properly? All right. So the first winner, you can stop tweeting. We've got 2 winners. We've got 2 winners. I will show you my screen so you know who won. So there's no trickery here. Okay, you ready? You hear all that sounds, all those sounds? That's the sound of happiness. So let me show you who won. I need to screen share. Hang on a second. Hello, screen share. Okay, so here, as you can see, oh, fuck, Donald Trump is in the fucking photo. Ignore that. All right. Here, the first winner is this person here. Dances. So Dances, I'm going to follow you now and you're going to direct message me and we're going to discuss this. Okay. I might not reply right away because I got a bunch of stuff to do. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to add you, to follow you. Okay. So Dances, you're the first winner. The second winner is Joshua Smith. As you can see, Dances is number 1 right here. And then Joshua Smith right here. I love the tnkgrl podcast. Thank you. That was very creative, Josh. And I'm going to also follow you so you can DM me. Okay, remember to follow me back so I can DM you back. Okay, so the winners are Dances at Dances, DANSUS, and at Josh from Detroit, JOSH from FROMDETROIT. Josh from Detroit and Dances, you both have won a Nextbit Robin in the wonderful color Mintnight. These will be sent to you directly by Nextbit. Please direct message me sometime today so we can coordinate. I will need some information from you so that these people can send you stuff. I will need things like your name, like your address and phone number and your email address, okay? Otherwise, they can't ship it to you. But you win. You win. All right. Back to our regular programming. Whoops. I am going to stop the screen share. Seriously, Google, the interface for this Hangouts on Air is a pain in the ass. So here we go. You won. Awesome. There's a few little things I want to say. You guys are probably going to start dropping like flies, but there's a couple of things I want to talk about before I leave. First, I want to talk about sponsorship opportunities. If you want to sponsor the tnkgrl mobile live show, please reach out to me at tnkgrl@gmail.com. That's tnkgrl@gmail.com. tnkgrl is my handle almost everywhere on Twitter. It's also my blog. So tnkgrl@gmail.com. It's tnkgrl like the comic book. Drop the vowels at gmail.com. All right. Please, if you're interested in sponsoring this show, please let me know. Email me. I'd be interested in hearing from you. The second thing I wanted to say was a special thanks to someone named Shawn. I don't know if he spells it Shawn, S-E-A-N, or Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, because we never got that far. But he was at Universal Studios Hollywood working there. And I was there with my niece visiting on July 3rd. And he was very, very helpful. And I want to thank him for being very, very helpful. He'll know what I'm talking about. I want to get into details. Don't want to get him in trouble. But all I know is that I want to say thanks to Shawn, a very special thanks to Shawn at Universal Studios Hollywood. And I was really happy to be able to meet you. So that's it. That's it. We've got over an hour today of news, devices, accessories, and a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, including a giveaway of a Mintnight Robin from Nextbit, which is really, really exciting. So stay tuned for more. I wanted to do this weekly, but I'm finding that there's just not enough news and I'm not getting enough review nits often enough to really make this a weekly thing. So let's try to do it maybe monthly or so. Once I start having enough news and I start having enough devices, new things like to show you like this awesome Moto Z, then we can go ahead and give you a show. Ideally, I want to keep it between half an hour and an hour. This one was a little bigger than planned because there's a lot of stuff to cover, right? So OnePlus 3 is awesome. Go check it out. Moto Z is pretty cool. I'm really loving the modularity, really loving the design. I'm disappointed with the lack of headphone jack. I think that they shouldn't have done that. I think it's too early. I think that it's just, you know, Bluetooth is a substitute for sure, but it's just completely unnecessary. I'm sure there was enough real estate to put a headphone jack in there. And, you know, there's so many devices out there that still use analog audio. It just makes a lot of sense to keep it. So anyway, I'm going to stop ranting. I'm going to let you go. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right somewhere down here because this is going to be on YouTube. You know, follow me on Twitter at tnkgrl, tnkgrl. Check out my blog, tnkgrl.com, tnkgrl.com, all that stuff. Email me at tnkgrl@gmail.com, tnkgrl@gmail.com if you want. You ask me a question or something. Stay tuned for more. Love you all. I'm signing out now. All righty. Let's play some music, shall we?